One of the biggest changes in endurance sport over the last decade isn't the bikes or the training, it's how much athletes are able to fuel. Morton's new gel mix is designed to make high carbohydrate fueling simpler than ever. Learn more at morton.com. A crash for Jonas, Vingegaard, Remco, Evenepoel marking Pogačar and Del Toro. It was a very dramatic day on the Swiss border in the Tour de France. Stage 15 before the second rest day. We don't have too many hard climbs before Le Salève, which is the hardest 3.5 Ks we've had in the Tour for a long time at about 12%. Then Solaison, we just had it in the Dauphiné, 30 minutes at 9%. Break formation again, same as previous stages. An early intermediate sprint meant that Albertson locked it down for Philipsen to win that sprint. Then it took ages, just wouldn't go, this rolling terrain. Then the downhill, EF missed a move with Carapaz, Healy and Baudin, and so they had to chase it back at one point. Eventually they do get in with Baudin, I think, but yeah, it was a long fight. Ineos were in with Aronsman a couple of times, and then it got brought back, and then on this false flat downhill, it was so hard to get away. You're drafting in the wheels, and finally we get a move that everyone's happy with. Yates in for UAE, Campenaerts and Amaury for Visma, Baudin in, Pidcock once again sneaks in, Moritz, Aurelien Paris-Pantra for Decathlon, Tim van Dijk for Bora. So all the GC teams happy. They got someone in front, except maybe with Pidcock there, some guys weren't really allowed to pull. Simmons was sitting in for Trek. They didn't really want to pull Pidcock, who's in 9th in GC. Visma keep it at 2:40, 3 minutes before Le Salève, 4.5 Ks, 11.2%. See the satellite riders starting to get dropped, doing their own pace. Pidcock is lent on by the group to pace pretty much this whole climb. Piganzoli takes over for Visma. He starts pacing a group of about 20, and Quinn Simmons was on one today. He drops everybody in the breakaway on that climb. But Pidcock, he's trying to bring him back, or he does bring him back, in fact, on the descent afterwards. So I think Simmons was probably told to, if you want to go for the stage, you better get away from Pidcock. He's a handbrake on you. But actually, they could have just worked with Pidcock afterwards. Remco looking very, very good on the climb, though. He looked fresh, looked like he's doing it easy. Got a twisty descent afterwards, a 5-minute kicker, and then this 30 Ks of highway valley downhill, but through some villages. Schmidt goes clear. He anticipates from the break, knowing that he's probably not going to drop Adam Yates on the final, 30-minute, 9% climb. Visma start to collect their satellite riders, Campenaerts, then a couple of minutes later, Amaury. So they have 6 riders for this valley. Breakaway with Pidcock's only at 2 minutes at this point, and the climb's about 31 minutes. And we see the road furniture popping up. So it's really high speed, but it's through villages. It's not like a mountain descent, but it's still downhill. Schmidt, he goes through that road furniture, hops this little divider, and all of a sudden we see disaster for Jonas Vingegaard and Visma Lease bike. Vingegaard on the ground, Del Toro, Kuss also in Großschartner, but Vingegaard looks the worst off. We can't really see what happened from the overhead. He slides out, the first one to do so. We see Großschartner go over him, Pogačar just avoid it, and then Del Toro, he somersaults over Großschartner and gets his handlebars caught in like a shopping bag, I think. So what actually happened, we see here, it's a really tricky roundabout. They come with speed, and then the roundabout's facing away from them. It's not sort of inviting them into it. You see where they can't also hop the middle divider because there is the hay bale on it. And then when we go a bit closer, we see that it's jutting out the triangle of road furniture here. And then there's also cobbles and a divot even in the apex. So it's a really tight corner if you didn't go the other side where cars would normally go. Because of the speed, they went the long way around. Vingegaard slid out, and that was his Tour de France over. We sadly saw the man who's, I think, never abandoned a Grand Tour, who's been first and second in the Tour since 2021, have to abandon the Tour de France. Everyone sort of didn't know what to do, and then when the word of his abandonment came through, unfortunately the show had to go on, and they had to catch this breakaway. Simmons dances away from everybody. I think Simmons had one of the best performances today, incredibly strong. Bora set a tempo with Catania, then Hindley on the base of the Solaison, but then we see Pogačar talking to Isaac Del Toro. Remco hears of it, and so he's aware of what's about to happen. Remco's sharp to it, also because I presume it's in English that Pogačar has to speak to Del Toro in, and he starts to accelerate. So Pogacar with Vingegaard out, he rides basically as the mountain train domestique for Isaac Del Toro. Del Toro feeling good, they drop Sykes. Then Lipovic is on a gap. Then Ayuso really goes over his limit and cracks. And it's only Remco Evenepoel who's able to survive the pacing of Pogacar on Solaizon. Simmons has 30 seconds, not looking good for him because Adam Yates has waited. He does a full gas pull for Pogacar to relieve him for a couple of minutes. But Del Toro starts to struggle. He was dropping with the pace of Pogacar after Yates' pull, and Sykes was holding it at 30 seconds, and I thought if Pogacar has to slow down, if Sykes keeps strong, maybe he claws this back. You see Pogacar looking around all the time, Remco now into second wheel, but Sykes also slowed down a bit. Lipovic was with him, Simmons waited for Ayuso. Ayuso would lose 2 minutes to the front group, but Remco, this was like 2024 Remco on Plateau de Bay. Maybe, I think even better because he's looking around, he looks fresh-faced, he's doing it easy. This has got to be, Remco's best climbing performance ever, I think, because Plateau de Bay, he just went full gas. Pogacar gets on the radio again. Remco probably hears what he's saying, and a couple of seconds later, Del Toro attacks Remco again, almost mouth closed, onto the wheel, looking fresh, good cadence. Pogacar again goes to the front, starts pacing. So Remco he's getting dragged in. He's already into second. Del Toro goes again. He knows how good. We've seen Remco sprint yesterday and on some other stages, how explosive he's been at the end of stages. And here he drops the hammer at 2:50 to go when Del Toro had finished that last attack. Pogacar's in the wheel. Do you think this was a gift? Comment down below. Was it a gift? Pogacar doesn't try to come out of the wheel. Remco wins the stage, but why should Pogacar have let Remco win the stage? Remco wins ahead of Pogacar, his first ever road stage victory. Del Toro 6 seconds. Lipovic loses a minute with Sykes out. Here's what Remco had to say.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm literally trembling from emotions. It's it's been a hell of a day. Like a pretty hard start. I was actually feeling really bad in the beginning, but I really got better and better during the day. So I mean, you have to understand, like, how I'm racing with the best guy ever, best rider ever, and he has been doing a hell of a climb to try to win the stage with Isaac. And for me, it's a big step forward that I can follow this pace, because it was like a crazy hard pace. And also you have to understand, like, I always get so many critics about he cannot survive steep climbs and this and that, and I mean, it feels amazing, and just towards myself, everybody around me, it's it means a lot.
Obviously big changes with the disappointment of Vingegaard crashing out. He's out. Remco moves into second with a minute on Del Toro. We've got the TT on Tuesday where I think Remco is going to take big time, so he might be 2 minutes ahead of third then. Sykes is still knocking on the door because he was ahead of Del Toro. We'll see on Tuesday. Ciao, ciao.